Hello everybody, Adam Cleary here from FourFourTwo, and happy Christmas, if that is indeed when you are watching this video, and if you're not, then happy Tuesday. Welcome to our top 100 footballers in the world 2023. We thought we would make a really nice long video just in case you need to get like 30-40 minutes away from all your relatives on Boxing Day while you finish off the after eights or something. So what we did was we got the entire 442 team together. Oh look, there they are, say hello. We compiled what we thought were our top 100 player in the world lists, merged them into one big official 442 super list. Then this very handsome man, Mark White, wrote it all up, and then Adam Monk, say hello to him, and me made a video about it. We didn't really have like stringent criteria for it. It was just sort of like, how good has their year been, how good are they in general, like an intangible just coolness factor. It's just a bit of fun. So if there are any picks you disagree with, anyone who should be lower, anyone who should be higher, anyone we've missed out entirely, please do get that in the comments below, and we'll sort of put all that together and make an even better list later on. Until then though, sit back, please undo the top button on your trousers and enjoy 442's 100 greatest players of 2023.
Number 100, Sergio Busquets. Now, Sergio Busquets, he's been one of the best in his position for the past 15 years, that's fair to say, and now he's playing out his days at Inter Miami, but an absolute legend of the game, and he's rolled back the years a bit this year.
99, Nahuel Molina. Bombing forward from wing-back and contributing at both ends of the pitch, it's been another great 12 months for one of European football's unsung heroes.
Number 98, Diogo Costa. No, not that one, the evil ex-Chelsea striker, the actual Porto and Portugal goalkeeper. He's been really good for a couple of years now.
97, Mickey van der Ven. Catching the eye at Wolfsburg before becoming one of the Premier League signings of the season, his game reading and recovery pace has been one of the main reasons behind Tottenham's early success.
Number 96, Karim Benzema. Now, he'd have probably been in the top 5 this time last year, but now, of course, played in Saudi Arabia after an amazing 15-year stint at Real Madrid.
95, Lucas Paquetá. Delivering arguably the most important assist of West Ham's modern history in the Europa Conference final, it's been an electric 12 months for David Moyes' most mercurial player. Although I'm still convinced it's pronounced Paqueta.
Number 94, Isco. Now, his renaissance has just been absolutely beautiful to see. I think he's always had it in his locker. He's still only 31, so there's a couple more years left to go with Isco. But after leaving Real Madrid, he has really shone in La Liga at Real Betis.
93, Olivier Giroud. Physical, dominant, aggressive, lethal, and graceful. Giroud is still at his best in this Milan side, and apparently somehow also really good in goal now too.
Number 92, Enzo Fernandez. Now, a World Cup winner with Argentina, of course, but after joining Chelsea, he's really just shown glimpses of being that world-class talent that we all know he can be, and I'm sure eventually he will fully get there.
91, Serhou Guirassy. The surprise challenger to Harry Kane's one-man Bundesliga Golden Boot race, Guirassy might not have convinced everybody this form at Stuttgart is here to stay, but he certainly had one of the most explosive years.
Number 90, Nico Williams. Now, Athletic Club have really got their wish with a new 4-year deal for Nico Williams. He's been absolutely excellent this year, showing two-footedness, directness and intensity out wide. And at 21, he's only going to get better.
89, Marcus Thuram. The Bundesliga's worst-kept secret is now a smash hit in Serie A too. An intelligent, hungry footballer, he's only going to finish higher on these lists in the future.
Number 88, Ivan Martin. Now, Girona may well do a Leicester City this season over in La Liga, but there's not really a counterpart in that Leicester City team to compare to Ivan Martin. He's tricky, skillful, and he could be set for a big move in the summer.
Number 87, Christopher Nkunku. Injury may have ravaged the back end of his 2023, but he was undoubtedly one of the best players in the world before that. A lightning bolt through the centre of the pitch, able to create, drift and attack the box. Chelsea fans will be hoping that if anyone can fix their season, it's this man.
Number 86, Victor Gyökeres. I don't know how to pronounce that one fully, but Coventry to Sporting Lisbon is not the most orthodox route to getting on this list. However, he's an absolute bagsman, Championship Player of the Year last year, and has set the world alight at Sporting Lisbon too.
85, Martin Zubamendi. The heir apparent to Sergio Busquets' throne, his skill and creativity have also drawn comparisons to David Silva and Xavi Alonso. He's been instrumental in dragging Sociedad both to and through their Champions League campaign, and if the rumour mill is to be believed, offers from the Premier League are just around the corner.
Number 84, Federico Chiesa. Now, of course, we all remember his star-studded performances in Euro 2020, but injuries have kind of plagued Chiesa's career since then. However, when he is fit, he is simply unplayable. Electric from that left wing, a simply superb winger.
83, Douglas Luiz. Controlled yet aggressive, able to carry the ball and sit with it, vital in both boxes. If you had to pick one reason why Aston Villa are so high in the Premier League this season, Douglas Luiz would be it.
Number 82, Raheem Sterling. Now, another player who struggled with consistency in 2023, but when he's on it, boy is he on it. Still fighting for a place to get in the England squad under Gareth Southgate in that 4-4 draw against Manchester City. That could be the best individual performance in the Premier League so far this season.
81, Federico Valverde. A flying right winger, a composed central midfielder, the legs to Luka Modric's brain, Valverde is the player who can be anything, and yet somehow is still underrated.
Number 80, Victor Boniface. Now, one of the main reasons that Bayer Leverkusen have been so high-flying this season is physicality and presence up front has really enabled that German side to bully teams in the final third. And Nigeria, I mean, he's their backup striker. Scary.
79, Dominik Szoboszlai. Already one of Liverpool's most important players, the Hungarian has adapted to his new league to become one of the most consistently creative and hard-working midfielders in the world.
Number 78, Jack Grealish. Now, a one-man army at Villa, very much a maverick, has now become a cog in the Pep Guardiola machine, but to adapt in that way and become a key man in a treble-winning team is impressive nonetheless.
77, Marcus Rashford. Now, it might not be the best end to 2023 for Marcus Rashford, but it's worth remembering that for the rest of the year, he looked like one of the best left wingers in the world. Form is temporary, class is permanent, he'll get it back.
Number 76, Moussa Diaby. Now, playing that hybrid role at Aston Villa with his electric pacing behind and rotating with Leon Bailey, he has really set the world alight so far at Aston Villa and has justified his price tag. And you know what? 2024 could be even better for him with how well Aston Villa are doing right now.
75, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Once a set-piece master who would just hang on the edge of the penalty area waiting for a chance to drop, he now dictates the tempo and controls entire games for Inter Milan. A simply incredible evolution this year.
Number 74, Dejan Kulusevski. Yes, the ginger from Sweden, definitely one of Daniel Levy's better signings of recent years, and now under Ange Postecoglou, he seems to arrive at the right moment when Tottenham need him most, so I think the best is yet to come from Dejan.
73, Julian Brandt. A consistent mainstay at Dortmund even when big stars around him have all departed, Brandt is one of the most consistent stars on a side that on its day is capable of magic.
Number 72, Phil Foden. Now, of course, limited game time in City's tail end of the treble-winning season, but he's still had a great 2023 by anyone else's standards, and he's one of the most exciting youngsters in the league, and will no doubt be at the forefront of Gareth Southgate's team in the Euros in the summer.
71, Sven Botman. An absolute monster at the back for Newcastle United. For someone so young to be so composed, dominant and able to lead a back line is frightening. If he stays on Tyneside, he could be a pillar at that club for a decade.
Number 70, Theo Hernandez. No longer living in his brother's shadow, Theo Hernandez is one of the most consistent and fast. He is very, very fast. Fullbacks in world football these days, and after winning the Scudetto, he's really a jewel in that Milan side now.
69, Aurelien Tchouameni. Without hyperbole, this is a midfielder with one of the most impressive skill sets in the world. Solid for Real Madrid, vital for France, and at 23, he's only going to get better.
Number 68, Granit Xhaka. Now, he was crucial in that Arteta Arsenal system, and now he's crucial in Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen system. So to adapt in the way that he has in two different leagues, two different countries in 1 year is impressive to say the least, and I think it's fair to say Xhaka's in his prime.
67, Anthony Gordon. A slow start to life on Tyneside, Gordon returned from the Under-21 Euros the player of the tournament, and has since managed to turn that into a Premier League season absolutely full of goals and assists.
Number 66, João Palhinha. The main reason really why Fulham didn't just survive last season, they actually climbed up the table and tried to push in towards that top half, and it's no coincidence that the likes of Bayern Munich and Liverpool are knocking on the door for his signature.
65, Toni Kroos. Undoubtedly one of the most decorated players of his generation. It's also worth pointing out he's one of the best. At Real Madrid, he has become a simply sumptuous player who appears to operate in his own time and space apart from everybody else.
Number 64, Marquinhos. Ever since Thiago Silva left PSG, Marquinhos has really been the main man in that defence, playing alongside Ramos, Kimpembe, and now Milan Skriniar. He's as good as he's ever been, the captain of that PSG team. He deserves his place in the list.
63, Gavi. He's going to miss a lot of 2024, but his 2023 more or less defined Barcelona. If he manages to come back as good as he left, he's going to be a generational star for that club.
Number 62, Santiago Jimenez. Yes, the Mexican hold-up man for Feyenoord. He's been nothing short of sensational this season so far. Strong, physical and prolific. It won't be long till someone else goes for his signature in the summer.
61, Florian Wirtz. There's not really any other way to put it. The German is one of the most watchable young stars on the planet and living up to that Wonder Kid hype with excellent displays at Leverkusen every single week.
Number 60, Rodrigo. Yes, Mr. Clutch for Real Madrid. Don't remind me of that semi-final game. Oh my god. But this season he's adapted into a forward in that front two with Vinny Jr. after Benzema's left, and he's been nothing short of phenomenal.
59, Ashraf Hakimi. This man might just be the most box office right back on the planet. Sometimes a wing back, sometimes a winger, sometimes just a full-blown attacker. He's had another good year at PSG and still looks like one of the best in the world.
Number 58, Alexander Isak. Probably the closest thing aesthetically to Thierry Henry we've seen in the Premier League since Thierry Henry. Those long strides, the instep finish with the inside of his boot. Just a fantastic, fantastic striker. And he plays with a little bit of arrogance too that's justified.
57, Bruno Fernandes. Both Fernandes and Manchester United have had their share of ups and downs in 2023, but one wonders where the latter would be without the former. Moving deeper, dictating the play, assisting, he is still a shining star in that side.
Number 56, Lois Openda. So after having an amazing season at Lens and then joining RB Leipzig to replace Christopher Nkunku, he's really done that and then some. Quick, slight and direct, he's been amazing all year and is probably set for an even bigger move in the summer.
55, Dusan Vlahovic. Juventus are admittedly a bit of a basket case right now, but this man remains their best signing in years. Bullying centre-backs across Serie A, he carved out a reputation as one of the best centre-forwards on earth.
Number 54, Kingsley Coman. Yeah, that man with the ridiculous trophy cabinet who just wins stuff every single year. Other than Harry Kane now, he is the mainstay in that Bayern Munich attack under Thomas Tuchel, and for good reason as well.
53, Luis Diaz. Getting onto this list will probably not be what Luis Diaz remembers 2023 for, but regardless, he still lit up the Premier League for Liverpool. Quick, direct, lethal in front of goal, he is so much more than just the heir to Sadio Mane's throne.
Number 52, Alphonso Davies. Now, whether you can even call this man a left-back is up for debate. Definitely the most fun left-back to watch in world football, but he is just so fast.
51, Gabriel Martinelli. The young Brazilian's attacking qualities are obvious, but what's really endeared him to Arsenal fans is that he'll track back with as much intensity as he'll burst forward with a counter. A manager's dream.
Number 50, Mike Maignan. An integral part of Milan getting to the Champions League semi-finals last season, and now France's number one in the sticks as well. It's actually very impressive that Milan have upgraded on Donnarumma by bringing Maignan in.
49, Emiliano Martinez. I know this was 2022, so it doesn't technically count, but let's just enjoy that picture of him from the World Cup again for a few seconds. There we go.
Number 48, Randall Kolo Muani. Sorry mate, but you are the man who missed the biggest chance in the history of world football, but nonetheless you've had a fantastic 12 months, so pat on the back for you.
47, Kim Min-jae. The South Korean defender joined Napoli, slotted into Koulibaly's position, won the league title, and then got a massive money move to Bayern, where he's also looked incredible. Not a bad year.
Number 46, Frenkie de Jong. Sorry Erik ten Hag is still playing for Barcelona, but I think many Barcelona fans thought that he'd be replacing Busquets in that number 6 role, but that's not been the case. Xavi's been deploying him as a number 8, and he's been absolutely brilliant with his ball carrying ability, ball winning. There's been tough times for him at Barcelona, but he's still a top player.
45, Joshua Kimmich. Now a fully converted midfield metronome, the Philip Lahmification, who wrote this, of Joshua Kimmich has been special to see. Absolutely imperious in 2023, and the reason Bayern don't just dominate the league, they kinda strangle it.
Number 44, Takefusa Kubo. Now, I think a lot of people wrote this guy off after he left Real Madrid, and he kind of was paling into insignificance, but after joining Real Sociedad, he's been one of the most otherworldly wingers in the game, to be quite frank.
43, Luka Modric. Yes, okay, he probably had one of the quietest years of his career, but he is still running rings in that Real Madrid midfield around players half his age. At this rate, you wouldn't put it past him to play there until he's 40.
Number 42, Kaoru Mitoma. Probably, I would say, Brighton's best signing. Maybe not for resale value, but certainly on ability. He's really gone up a level under Roberto De Zerbi, 2-footed, and even if he's being double or triple marked, he seems to just get out of it and weave his way through. The word wizard really comes to mind, and I think it's justifiable.
Number 41, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. The Barcelona goalkeeper has reportedly said that he just sees football as his job. Well, my input on this is that he's really, really good at his job.
Number 40, Kieran Trippier. Yes, the man who gave every England fan their best moment of their lives with that free kick against Croatia, but did any England fan really think that 3 years later he'd still be a mainstay in the side, particularly with all the debates over recent years between Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold? He is really still probably the most well-rounded fullback in the country, so for good reason that he's in that England side, and the fact he's playing in the Champions League, well, not anymore, but he was, for Newcastle United, is impressive, and he fully deserves his place on this list. A great player.
39, Julian Alvarez. In 2023, Alvarez here won a Premier League, an FA Cup, a Champions League, and a World Cup. Not bad for, and I'm doing extreme air quotes here, Erling Haaland's understudy.
Number 38, James Maddison. Now, for me, the signing of the summer. I think not only the fact that he joined Tottenham and moved up a club, but also the fact that he was kind of assigned with giving Spurs fans hope back, especially on the pitch with Harry Kane leaving. So playing in that number 10 role, his ball striking ability from range and also his vision in the final third, he's really matured into one of the finest midfielders in the country, and it's going to be very, very hard for Gareth Southgate to ignore him in the Euros, but obviously he will.
37, Alejandro Balde. In a world of inverting fullbacks, Balde here is a classic. Bombing up and down the touchline rather than moving into midfield, his development in 2023 has been nothing short of incredible.
Number 36, Eduardo Camavinga, the Swiss Army knife in world football. Play him left back, play him CDM, play him centre back, play him in net, play him in the stands. It doesn't matter, he will do a job, he will have an impact on the game. And it's for that reason why he's been so tried and trusted in this Ancelotti team. Ancelotti will play him in any position on the biggest of stages. You know, the Champions League semi-final, for instance, he played at left back. And at such a young age, he's such a mature player.
Number 35, Warren Zaïre-Emery. Despite being just 17 years old, there are those in French football who believe his importance to the French national team is second only to Kylian Mbappe. There is a lot of hype around this young man right now, but in 2023, it was fully deserved.
Number 34, Lautaro Martinez. Now, if you ignore the fact that he couldn't hit a barn door in the World Cup final against France, he has actually got 21 goal contributions this season in Serie A and has been one of Serie A's best forwards for the last few years.
33, Pedri. Carrying both the weight of Barcelona and Spain on his back, Pedri already feels like a veteran of the game despite being just 21.
Number 32, Virgil van Dijk. Now, he's dropped down on this list a bit. Of course, he was an absolute behemoth and Goliath of a centre-back a couple of years ago, but even at 32, he tends to bully strikers. And I think what's so impressive about Van Dijk is that Klopp likes to play a high line, and even at his age, he's completely comfortable not only covering for Trent Alexander-Arnold, but seemingly being one step ahead of any attacker that approaches him.
31, Xavi Simons. PSV's best player at the start of the year and now moving to Leipzig, where he's easily one of the best in the Bundesliga too. 2023 was a year that suggests that Xavi Simons will probably go on to very big things.
Number 30, Son Heung-min. Now, I think some people were starting to be fickle and reactionary and write Son off at the end of last season under Antonio Conte, but under Ange Postecoglou, he's been revived. Captain of Tottenham too, and of course reaching the Premier League 100 club recently, I think it's time that English football fans start discussing Son as one of the all-time greats in the English game.
29, Kyle Walker. Incorrectly classified as merely a speed merchant, Kyle Walker has spent the last 12 months adapting to every single crazy tactical tweak Pep Guardiola's thrown at him. Wing-back, centre-back, central midfielder, he's now got a treble to add to his collection too.
Number 28, Robert Lewandowski. This guy has just been scoring goals forever. The definition of a bagsman, if you look it up in the dictionary, Robert Lewandowski will come up. Of course, a legend at Bayern Munich, but now playing in Catalonia for Barcelona. He spearheaded them last season to the La Liga title and is continuing to do it at 35 years of age. So, Blackburn fans, just imagine what would have happened if you'd assigned him.
27, Leroy Sané. It may have taken him a while to return to the levels we all knew he was capable of, but the Allianz Arena is simply his backyard now. Another unbelievable year of performances tearing up Bundesliga defences.
Number 26, Ruben Diaz. Now, I'm surprised that Pep Guardiola doesn't actually hate this man's guts because he can only play one position. But he plays that one position very, very well. because he's the most defensively adept defender in Manchester City's system. Not the best on the ball by any means, but certainly the rock and the glue of that Manchester City side. And when he came back from injury at the start of the year, that was really what won City the treble.
25, Kvichka Kvaratskhelia. 18 months ago, nobody knew his name, but today, few can pronounce it correctly. He has Napoli's first Scudetto in decades to add to his breakout year, and you will no doubt spend most of 2024 speculating on where he goes next.
Number 24, Martin Ødegaard. Now, do you remember kind of like 9 or 10 years ago when Ødegaard was a kid? He was like 15 and there was loads of YouTube compilations about him. And then he went to Madrid and tailed off, but people really forgot how young Ødegaard was at the time. People wrote him off, and then he went to Arsenal after an impressive spell at Real Sociedad and is now one of the best number 10s in the world. He really can do it all, and without him, Arsenal look a much, much weaker side, so fully justified that he goes in at 24, and I think he'll be in this list for many, many more years to come.
23, Ederson. Arguably the most underappreciated player in world football. Despite not even being a number 1 for his country, Ederson has once again displayed a level of technical excellence rarely seen by players of any position, let alone a goalkeeper.
Number 22, Bruno Guimaraes. Now, the best signing of the takeover for Newcastle so far. I don't think anyone can argue with that, but also he can do it all. He has grit, he has bite in the middle of the park, and he holds that Newcastle midfield together alongside Joe Linton, but also has that ability to arrive in the box when needed and get the odd important goal for Newcastle as well.
21, Alisson. Cover your ears, Liverpool fans, but at one stage in 2023, Alisson was playing so well he was statistically propelling a mid-table side into European contention. And while the Reds have certainly reversed their fortunes this season, Alisson's ability to bail them out of a jam has remained consistent.
Number 20, it's Rice baby, Declan Rice. Yes, a scorer of late goals for Arsenal now, Mr. Clutch, but also one of the best number 6s on the planet. And also now, at the age of 24, he's really matured into that leader that we all knew he could be. He is captain material to a T.
19, Rafael Leao. 2022 brought a Scudetto, 2023 saw a Champions League semi, but in the land of Catenaccio and Maldini, there have been few stars who have dazzled with such swagger and ferocity. Leao has been Milan's Atlas, standing as majestic as the San Siro itself, bulldozing and bludgeoning. He has been electric as ever this year.
Number 18, John Stones. Now, I was just talking about Declan Rice as being one of the best 6s on the planet, but is John Stones as well? The revolutionary tactical change that shifted John Stones up to number 6 from Pep Guardiola was the main reason, really, why Manchester City won the treble. They were able to control games so much more, and John Stones' spatial awareness of what's around him and how he receives the ball on the turn is just freakishly good for a player that is a centre-back by trade at the end of the day.
17, Trent Alexander-Arnold. A player so good that the rest of the game just bends to his will. Jurgen Klopp has ripped up a highly structured formation and redrawn it with Trent Alexander-Arnold as its nucleus. After spending 2022 hearing about how he couldn't defend, he has responded by becoming the side's most important player, dictating play through midfield and showing himself to be absolutely unpressable when doing so.
Number 16, William Saliba. Yes, the new wave Van Dijk. He's really imperious is kind of the word when you think of Saliba. Now, he got injured at the start of this year and then Arsenal started to drop points and then he's come back and Arsenal have stopped leaking goals this season. So that paints a picture in of itself. But again, similar to Van Dijk, the way he seems to be one step ahead of his attackers, he's so imperious, so fast, his anticipation of where the ball's going to go from a long ball over the top. He really, really is the all-round centre-half at the moment. Truly one of the best centre-backs, if not the best centre-half on the planet. So fully justified, number 16.
15, Ilkay Gundogan. Often categorised simply as the man who finished the moves at Man City, 2023 showed that he's one of the most intelligent footballers of a generation. He became immortal this year with a treble, but the lack of his stability, craft and guile has punctuated City's faltering campaign so far. Pep Guardiola, or any manager for that matter, would have him back in a heartbeat.
Number 14, Victor Osimhen. Now, you remember earlier on in this list when I was talking about Victor Boniface and how he's a backup striker for Nigeria? Well, that's because of this man. He is that, but just on absolute steroids. There is nothing this man cannot do. His hold-up play, his first touch, his variety of finishing, his aerial ability, his pace, his two-footedness, he just has absolutely everything And at 24 years of age now, he has become a Napoli talisman and made history, winning them their first title in 33 years. So he's already gone down in history. He's destined for greatness.
13. Kevin De Bruyne. Perhaps Guardiola's finest tactical achievement at City, turning a playmaker into a Swiss Army knife of a midfielder. Playmaker still, yes, but forward, winger, number 10, and sometimes all at once en route to 3 trophies. The fact he's missed most of this season and still feels like he has dominated 2023 is testament to just how important, just how good he is.
Number 12, Jamal Musiala. This has really been the year that Musiala has stepped up and become the face of Bayern Munich. He pulled Bayern Munich to the title last season with that last-minute winner when Dortmund choked. And he's now established himself as probably Bayern Munich's most important player. Maybe not since Kane's come in, but definitely last season anyway.
11. Bukayo Saka. First pick for his club and as good as for his country, an absolute icon in English football already. He has 2 traits that make him potentially generational. 1, he always steps up from a setback, taller and broader than when he was knocked down, and 2, he has that incredible knack for seemingly downloading new patches to his repertoire as a footballer. Formerly a humble left-back capable of exhilarating with his pace and precision, he now dictates games with his stop-start runs, passing, drifts in and out of space, and lethal left foot.
Number 10, Vinicius Jr. Yeah, I mean, quite simply put, one of the best wingers in Europe, if not the best. I think the most impressive thing about Vinny Jr. now, really, is how watchable he is. You know, in an era of football where, you know, everything is so methodical and players are pigeonholed into zones and systems, he really, maybe he's the last of a dying breed of Brazilians who sort of has that flair and that maverick sort of style of play about them. And he's just a joy to watch, quite simply put.
9. Antoine Griezmann. Few could touch him in Qatar, and no one scaled the same heights as him in Spanish football in 2023. The Barcelona nightmare has led to a fabulous renaissance back in his spiritual home in Madrid, with Griezmann reborn as an all-action figure of invention and intelligence. As well as the goals, and there have been loads of goals, the Frenchman's hard running and creativity have separated him as being an utterly unique footballer and one that Diego Simeone surely cherishes as the best he's ever had at Atletico.
Number 8, Mohamed Salah. I mean, at what point do we start talking about Salah now as an all-time great of the game? I think that time has come now. The consistency from Salah is just absolutely staggering. Last year was another 30-goal season for the Egyptian on the right wing, and, you know, it's just been that way for the last 6 or 7 years. Quite simply put, one of the best footballers I have ever seen, and one of the best players in Liverpool history now. So, well done, Mo. Pat on the back.
7. Bernardo Silva. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But Bernardo Silva, the weird little freak, is absolutely both. This was the year that the Portuguese established himself as one of the defining footballers of the entire 2020s. He destroyed Real Madrid in one of the most breathtaking Champions League performances in recent memory and has toyed with opponents of every level, always one move ahead.
Number 6, Lionel Messi. Now, to be quite honest, I don't, is there any point in me saying anything about this guy anymore? Like, everyone knows who he is, everyone knows what he's done, everyone knows the trophies he's won, the goals he's scored, and just the fact that he's a bloody good player. But I think the main thing to note with Messi right now is, despite playing for Inter Miami now in America, I still firmly believe he is football's best player at walking pace, still the best passer, the best mover, the best striker. Well, he's up there with the best strikers of a ball. 700 career goals at club level this year, and also his 300th club career assist as well to go on top of the World Cup. So this might be the last time that he's in the top 100 list because of the league he's playing in now, but ultimately this year still belonged to him, and that league is now his.
Number 5, Rodri. The consistency of this man has been almost robotic. It's not that he never loses possession, but he never wastes it either, always looking to progress, always looking for the next move forward, rather than thinking about the last. Midfield metronomes are supposed to provide control, but Rodri is there to ensure dominance. He has the grace of a Pirlo for sure, but the edge of a Gattuso, wanting to strangle opponents with incessant strings of passes. The midfielder of the year.
Number 4, Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, 24 years old now. This guy is greatness personified already, and I think he's going to go on to I mean, the scary thing is he could hit his prime in about 2030, which is incomprehensible given he started playing in the Champions League in 2017. 2023 wasn't exactly the most glittering year in terms of silverware for Kylian Mbappe, but nonetheless, in January he came on and got a 10-minute hat-trick and then 5 in a different game, and then in February he drew level with Edinson Cavani for PSG goals in 20 fewer games, before then breaking his record in March. He also won League One again, of course, and then was the Division's Player of the Year award for the 4th consecutive season. And of course this year as well, he netted his 300th career goal and became France's all-time scorer by the end of the year. And that's not even touching on how electric he is to watch and how he sits defenders down and gets fans off their seats and stood up. He really is he's a complete showman, 24 years of age, and only going to get better.
Number 3, Harry Kane. 30 goals in the Premier League before the definitive big money move to Bayern Munich, where he's made a mockery of all who faced him. He has been unstoppable. What a year for Harry Kane. The England captain was phenomenal in his final flourish in England as the focal point of arguably the worst side he's ever led. Then came Hollywood FC, where he was merely one of many stars, and unbelievably, he's had pretty much the same impact. It's the sign of a genuine great to simply perform almost in defiance of opposition or teammates. All that's left for him to do is fire England to similar glory.
Number 2, Jude Bellingham. Now, truth be told, honestly, I don't really know what more can be said about this guy. Do you remember that FIFA game mode a few years ago? I think it was about FIFA 17, and it was called The Journey, and you played as this kid called Alex Hunter, and then you could go to any club you wanted, and it was kind of just like the ideal footballing career that never even seemed remotely realistic. Or the film Goal with Santiago Munez, where he ends up playing for Real Madrid, and it's all fairy tale. That is literally what is happening here. Of course, he's very, very young, but it's so rare that you actually see a player get exponentially better at football the bigger a football club he goes to. It's actually so rare that joining Real Madrid has made him twice as good and scary a footballer to play against. 20 Real Madrid games, 17 goals so far. That's playing at the tip of a diamond, sort of as a shadow striker kind of, but it's just absolutely ridiculous. He's turned into a complete world beater, and I can't remember football seeing anything quite like this in at least a decade. Maybe since the days where Messi just sort of exploded into this goal scorer. Not saying he's that good, but it's not far off in terms of everyone just being in awe of what they're actually witnessing. I don't know what the hell is in his dad's genes, but he's got Joby Bellingham as a younger brother too, who's of course at Sunderland and is doing really well. So this family, honestly, could be solely what ends up winning England major silverware in the next few years. But Jude Bellingham right now on form, undoubtedly. I mean, he's got a case to be number 1. But I think number 2 is fair, because...
Number 1, Erling Haaland. Those who have been blessed by Erling Haaland's company know him as a man of few words. As minimalist as you would expect from a Scandinavian artist. But that is also how he plays the game. No fluff, no filler, he barely touches the ball in 90 minutes, but he makes every single one count. It might seem underwhelming or very anti-football to call the best player on earth the one who does things with the most efficiency without ever giving you time to feel, but it is also completely accurate. 2023 belonged to Haaland. 3 trophies, a Premier League goal record for a 38 haul in a season, and the fastest man to 50 in the competition by an absolute mile. He is pretty much guaranteed to net if he plays. Others may be more complete or poetic as players, but no one does what Haaland does as well as him, and no one has done for a very long time. He was the best player in the world this year. That is just a fact. As cold and as simple as the man himself would appreciate. And there you have it, my friends. That was the top 100 players of 2023, according to us. Anyway, if you like that kind of thing, you should really check out the brand new issue of 442 magazine, available in all good retailers, and I am required to say, all the crap ones as well. It's our awards issue, so it's got all kinds of fun stuff in it, like the best this and the best that, and I even wrote a thing which was meant to be funny, but I've read it back now and it's a bit, I don't know. Follow 442 wherever you have your social fun. The handles are in the corner of the video, and you can get me wherever you like as well, at Adam Cleary, Clery. But until 2024, next year, my friends, I will see you very soon. Unless, of course, it is already 2024 when you're watching this video, in which case we'll just be calling it this year then, won't we? Not next year, because that's how that works. Goodbye!